There was a time in my life when nothing looked wrong from the outside. I wasn't failing. I wasn't broke. I wasn't in some dramatic crisis. But every single day felt heavy. I would wake up tired before the day even started. I would look at my phone and immediately feel behind. Behind in life. Behind in success. Behind everyone else. And the worst part? I kept calling myself lazy. I thought I lacked discipline. I thought I needed more motivation, more structure, more self-control. So I tried to fix myself. I watched productivity videos. I made schedules. I downloaded habit trackers. I promised myself that tomorrow I would be different. But tomorrow always felt the same. Because the problem wasn't laziness. The problem was pressure. Invisible pressure. The kind that doesn't scream at you but quietly shapes your decisions. Pressure to succeed fast. Pressure to prove yourself. Pressure to not disappoint your family. Pressure to look confident even when you feel small. And slowly, without noticing, I built a cage around myself. Not with metal bars, but with expectations. Every time someone compared me to someone else, another bar appeared. Every time I felt judged for resting, another bar. Every time I chose something safe instead of something honest, another bar. And the crazy thing is, nobody locked the door. I stayed inside because I was afraid of what people would say if I stepped out. Afraid of being called unrealistic, immature, weak, lazy. It's strange how powerful pointing fingers can be. Most of us aren't controlled by laws or rules. We're controlled by fear of judgment, fear of being misunderstood, fear of looking stupid while trying. So we shrink ourselves. We adjust our dreams. We lower our voice. We sit inside the cage and convince ourselves it's safer there. At least inside the cage, nobody can criticize your attempt. Nobody can mock your ambition. Nobody can reject your real self. But here's the truth I didn't want to face. The cage doesn't protect you. It drains you. It steals your energy slowly. It makes even simple tasks feel exhausting because you're not living aligned with who you are. You're performing, and performance is tiring. I realized something one night when I couldn't sleep. I wasn't tired from working too hard. I was tired from pretending. Pretending I cared about things I didn't care about. Pretending I wasn't scared. Pretending I was okay with a path I never chose consciously. And that realization hurt, because if I wasn't lazy, then I was responsible. Responsible for staying silent. Responsible for not questioning my direction. Responsible for accepting a life that didn't fit me. That's uncomfortable. It's easier to say I'm lazy than to say I'm afraid. It's easier to blame your discipline than to admit you're living for approval. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. The cage becomes obvious. You start noticing how often you make decisions based on how they'll look instead of how they'll feel. You start noticing how much of your identity is built around avoiding criticism. And then comes the hardest part, choosing differently. Not dramatically, not by quitting everything overnight, but by small acts of honesty. Saying no when you mean no. Trying something even if it looks stupid. Resting without apologizing. Speaking even if your voice shakes. That's how cages break. Not with explosions, but with quiet defiance. And here's what changed for me. The moment I stopped fighting myself, I started feeling energy again. Not because life became easier, but because it became mine. When your actions align with your values, motivation stops being forced. Discipline stops feeling like punishment. Work feels lighter because it's chosen. If you feel stuck, if you feel like you're constantly behind, constantly judged, constantly not enough, maybe you're not lazy. Maybe you've been living under invisible pressure for so long that you forgot what freedom feels like. And freedom doesn't mean no responsibility. It means responsibility for the right things. Your direction, your standards, your pace. People will still point fingers. They always do, but their fingers don't build cages. Your fear does. And the moment you decide that their opinions are background noise, the door quietly opens. You were never locked in. You were conditioned to stay. And once you realize that, everything changes.